Hare Krishna. Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So back to the thing. Okay, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishamanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatyata Satarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivatsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Come on, all of you, unmute, all of you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare
Come on, all of you all
Hare.
unmute. It is so spiritual. Let's get all the energies up. One loud chanting. Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So, Chitra Mataji, I'm going to send you the link for you to add in the playlist. I'm unable to connect in the playlist, so I'm just sending it.
Mataji, can you also make Prerna Mataji host because
Sure,
she
sure,
manages the playlist and everything.
Oh, she does that? Okay. Prerna Mataji, please raise your hand.
Prerna Mataji, raise your digital hand.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. I want to mute everybody. Somebody is talking about property transactions when we are having live transactions. Okay. So now we are going to be talking we are now entering the new chapter called Jnana. And today is really Jnana. You know what? The first 6 chapters talks about, karma. So everything is bhakti. There is nothing which can happen without bhakti. But how do we achieve bhakti through karma is what we saw in the first 6 chapters. The middle chapter is bhakti itself, like sandwiched. And the last 6 chapter talks about how we can achieve bhakti via jnana. Why do we need jnana? You all tell me. Why do we do? Is jnana required? Is jnana required?
Yes, Mataji.
Why do we need jnana?
To know, understand God
doing.
better.
Very nice. Thank you so much. We need jnana because only through jnana we will know someone better. Right? So when you have bhakti, what happens? Automatically jnana comes. But when we don't have bhakti, which is typically for people like me, what happens is jnana helps us to get bhakti, right? So bhakti is there, automatically karma, jnana is taken care. But when it is not there, so when you want to know, it's like the love marriage and arranged marriage, right? So when you're in love marriage, you know the person in and out, automatically you have love, you have knowledge, everything comes. But in an arranged marriage, you don't know, right? So love will come later. But what you have to do first is you have to get knowledge about the person. What is he or what is she? How does he look? How good qualities he has? These are called the Aishwaryas, which means the potencies, which we get to know. That is why we use Shravana. And then automatically we will get into Jnana. So this is what is going to happen actually in the case of Bhagavad Gita, which we are currently doing. Okay. So now I am going to dive into this chapter. Since it's the 13th chapter only, no? Confirm, no? Yesterday she took 12th chapter, right? Prema, who took? Prabhu took or Prema Kishori ma'am?
Prabhuji took 12th chapter.
Okay, very nice. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So, what is the name of the chapter? Please close your eyes and tell. Don't see the screen.
Kshetra Kshetra Ki Yog.
Very nice. So, it's nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. So, we have three things here, right? We are there, material nature is there, and our conscious is there. So, let's see what is the actual link. And before we start off, let's pay our obeisances to Shri Radha Govinda. And a quick recap of our 12th chapter. It talks about which is the greatest bhakti. Whether, because you know, this led from the 11th chapter. Krishna shows Virat Rupa, then he showed the 400 form, then the 200 form. And Arjuna is very clear, but still for people like us, he wanted to clarify which is correct, whether the Brahmajyoti or the form. Now we are also always, this 12th chapter is a very sweet chapter. I tell we have option A and B in life. But here Krishna is telling, you do A. That means Satatam Kirte Antonam. All the time I think of Krishna. Krishna, not possible. Krishna, what are you joking? How can I think of you all the time? No problem. Then you don't do that. You do what's called the yoga, which is called the Neshkama yoga, which means that all your activities, everything you do for me. Okay, all the activities you Krishna, forget it. I can't even do. Hare, you can't do that. Okay, then fine, no problem. You do your activity, at least results give to me. Sakama. Krishna, not possible. ABC is gone. Right? Now he is talking about other things, like, you know, jnana, everything else will come, like jnana, all that. So basically 6 options he's giving. We always have, whether it's school or college, plan A, max, plan B. But look at Krishna, he's giving A, B, C, D, E, F, so many options. And the last few verses talks about the qualities which endear one to Krishna. Right? So that is one which endears one to Krishna. So that we already saw. So now we're going to see, as usual, asking questions. So he's asking, what is Prakriti? You know, this might be a little tough, but we will go through this again and again. Prakriti means what is nature. Purusha means who is a Purusha. Kshetra. Kshetra means what? Kshetra Jna means knowledge, right? What is the knowledge about Kshetra? Jnanam means what? Neyam means what? Please, I can tell you all, if you all don't understand anything, that means you're right. Very rightly situated. This though I understood only at level 3. Level 2 I never understood. So let's see how many of you all are able to catch. So Krishna is answering first, third and the 4th question. Okay. And then he will answer the 5th question. Now then he is answering 6th question. And finally he is talking about 1 and 2. And finally he is talking about Jnana Chakshu, which means vision. So let's hear what only Krishna is telling. So 1 to 6, I just gave you all a brief about what karma is and how do we achieve. And 7 to 12, what bhakti yoga is and jnana, right? So jnana is required not only to get bhakti, but also to get out of this material world. If bhakti is culmination, then why jnana is presented in last 6? This is our question which we always ask, right? First 6 chapters actually help bhakti. Last 6 help us to get out of the material world. So which is what is happening. And the 12th chapter actually is the main chapter which tells you how you can get out of birth and death. Right? So which is what we just spoke. Now going to Krishna's answers. Yes, please read. My dear devotees, read.
Arjuna said, "Oh dear Krishna, I want to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, and the field and the knower of the field and of knowledge, and at the end of knowledge. The blessed Lord then said, "This body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows
Very nice. So he's talking about what is Prakriti. So we'll go to the answers. We saw the questions. So Krishna is telling that Prakriti is material nature, and he's going to explain each one. What is Purusha? This one gives a summary of the answer, right? Purusha refers to two Purushas here. So who are the two classifications of Purusha? Can anyone guess? Who is Param Purusha?
Krishna.
Very nice. Who is Mini Purusha? Param Purusha is Krishna, no doubt. Mini Purusha is our Purushas only, who are in the house, in the material world, right? Whether that's a term which is used in North. Does Purusha mean husband? Because in South, Purusha also means husband, which means it's an enjoyer. Okay. So Kshetra means the body, and Kshetrajna means knowledge about the body. Jnanam is understanding both Kshetra and Kshetrajna. And Neyam is very clear, Paramatma, right? So we will revisit the slide at the end, but let's go one after the other. So we are first going to talk, which we discussed, third and fourth point. So which point are we going to talk now? What is third point?
Kshetra.
Perfect.
Body.
Yeah, Kshetra. So here, this is a land field, right? Now, let's say all of us are having one field close by each other. So what is it? I will know what is there in my field. You will know what is there in your field. Is that clear? Correct, right? You are having paddy, you'll know about paddy. I'm having tomato, I'll know about tomato. So this is the guy who is the owner of the field, and he knows only about his own field. That is only Kshetra, the small fellow. But who knows all the fields? If you take this guy is an employee of this field, I am an employee of the field. Each of us know only that. Whereas if there is an owner, let's say king, he is the owner of everything. So he knows everything, right? So where are we coming from is Kshetra here is referred to as the body. And who knows this body? I know only my body. We think we know that also we don't know, but generally only your body, right? So Kshetra here refers to body. For whom? So conditioned soul. So we are the conditioned soul. Why? Because he gets this feel so that the soul gets trapped here. He wants to lord over. Now every time we think, why are we here? So why we are here is because we were abroad. Abroad means in spiritual world, not US. Spiritual world, but we were like not very good. So they pushed us down. So we came off here. Why we were not very good? Not that we were not very good. We felt that we are not good there. We want to enjoy like Krishna. So from there we came here. All of us were there, but we all wanted to lord over, which is why we got this body. What is the criteria to decide the body? Ourselves. Whatever we desire and deserve. It's a combination of. So let's say that I want to be, let's say I want to be in this kingdom. If I have good karma, I will become the princess or the queen. If I have bad karma, I will still be in the kingdom, but maybe as a lizard or a cockroach. So kingdom to assured. It's all of us, right? So now it's very important what we should not have. Now Kshetra. So did you understand Kshetra? Is everybody clear?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So we all know about our Kshetra. Krishna knows all the Kshetras, right? So that's the main difference. Kshetra, that is what we are going to talk about. So difference between the body and the knower of the body. Okay. So this one we've already discussed. So 1 to 6, what we spoke, and 7 to 12. So I'm not going to repeat that. So it's the same concept which is very clearly mentioned, which I gave as an introduction. So therefore, body keeps changing, and we will know only that our body, and the intuitive understanding is Krishna knows all the body. That is a knowledge about the body. So that's the second point. So Kshetra is the body. Kshetrajna is knower or the knowledge, knower of the body. So Krishna already answered 3, 4, and let's hear what he's saying and the field of activities, right? That is the knower of the field and the knowledge. So let's go in there. 13.3. Kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam Yadajnanam matham mama. Hare Krishna.
As icon of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its owner is called knowledge. That is my opinion. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Body is Kshetra, knower is Kshetrajna. Understand this body and who the owner, that is Jnana. Right? As of now, I think I am the owner. Second chapter. I am the body. Wrong, right? I am the soul. The body does not belong to me. Classic example, look at the picture. Can everyone look at the picture and tell me what do you observe in the picture? What is common in all the picture?
The Paramatma and the Jivatma is inside. Mataji.
Very nice. The Paramatma and Jivatma seems to be existing when you're active, when you're in the half sleep stage, when you're in the full sleep stage, right? REM, RIP, whatever you call it. And in all the cases, if you notice, Paramatma is taking care of you, but we are always looking away from Paramatma. Can you see? Our face is somewhere else.
Yes, Mataji.
This I observed much later. So we are not looking at Paramatma, which is why we are struggling with all this. So fourth one is, there is also a second knower of all the fields, which is a super soul, which I told. Answer to the fifth question is to understand the body and the knower. That is very simple. We are understanding our body. Krishna understands all the body. Who's a knower of the body? That is, one is ourselves, one is Krishna. That is only Jnana. Name, you will not get confused because name is Paramatma, which is in the heart. So what is knowledge? Little more we are touching, right? Field of the body. That is whatever we are doing. This is only. So two knowers I told. We are just revising whatever we speak. Super soul and
individual soul.
How Krishna is very nice. Thank you, Anand. How Krishna is a knower? Why? Because Krishna is the plenary portion. We saw in the 8th chapter, right? Prabhu took 8th chapter for you. He's saying, I am also the knower, but not the individual knower of the body. He's present in every body. So that is the supreme knower. So that's a specialty. Right? So he's called the supreme knower because he knows about all body. So they are talking about the difference between soul and super soul, which I'm not going to tell, which you all are going to tell, and I'm going to hear that slide. So can you all please tell me, or you all can type in chat, what is the difference between the soul and the super soul?
Soul is the part of super soul. We are belong to super soul.
Okay, part and parcel of super soul. Very nice one. Next.
Soul is not aware of surroundings, like it is unaware of everything, but super soul knows everything.
Very nice, Haribol. So we are unaware of everything, whereas super soul knows everything. Very nice. Next.
And super soul is
Sorry?
controller of soul.
Little louder, Mataji. For some reason, my audio is like really killing me. You're right. You're right. I just couldn't hear. That's why I asked you to repeat.
Super soul is the controller of everything, Radhika Mataji.
Very nice. Super soul is the controller of everything. Right? So let's see what we are talking about. Living entities are called as Jivatma and Krishna is known as Paramatma. We are finite decibel. So do you all know the size of the super soul? Do you know the size of the soul? Does anyone know the size?
1/10,000, the tip of the hair.
Perfect. Tip of the hair is this tip, 1/10,000. So you take the hair portion and cut into 100 parts, again cut it into 100 parts. That's the size of the hair. We know only our body. Krishna knows all body. Soul is the secondary proprietor of, right? Soul is so basically citizen of the land and king, which we said. So supreme proprietor is Krishna and we are the secondary owner, like a tenant actually. So soul is the controller, right? What is the example given is citizens. Citizens control, but actually Krishna, sorry, not Krishna, king is the original owner. That is why he is called Rishikesha. And soul, we are very fallible. Krishna is infallible. Fallible means fallible. Just take it in that place. And we are at a subordinate position and he is in the master position. And you know, there are multiple and there is only one action. That is the thing. So moving to the next Hare Krishna. Tachetram yakchatya drikcha yad vikariya taschayat sachayotet prabhavascha tat sameshena meshun. Hare Krishna.
Now, please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, whence it is produced, who that knower of the field of activities is, and what his influences are. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Now, please hear my brief description of the field of activity and how it's constituted. What its changes are, whether it is produced, what the knower of the field of activities and what these influences are. So basically what they are talking about is now going forward, Krishna is going to answer everything, right? So just an intro on that. Rishi Vir Bahuda Gitam Chando Vir Vividhai Prata Brahma Sudra Pade Shaiva Hetumadvir Vinishchitai.
That knowledge of the field activities and of the knower of its activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Very beautiful. Can you see Krishna is also giving proof? He's not telling, I am telling. Of course, he can tell because he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a wording, but he's not telling that I am telling believe. He's telling whatever I am going to tell is already described by sages in Vedic writings. So he is trying to give proof. So it's very important that we don't push. We give validity. Now, this is a very important thing. Annamaya is at a stage where you only need food. Example, you are at a very, very underdeveloped conscience. Example, a very small child, a 3-month child, it will only cry for food, absolute basics, right? To an extent, animals, but animals will little bit can be escalated to pranamaya, wherein the pranamaya state is more of bodily consciousness also, right? Is also seen. Animal can get scared, right? So that is the life force is higher. Jnanamaya is manomaya. Thinking is there. One classic example I will tell is manomaya. If we are telling platform, we will all go to a hotel and see, wow, amazing food is there. Fada, 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 we should have everything. So that is that jnanamaya thing. We decide we will eat everything in the morning and then mind. Vijnanamaya platform tells that you cannot eat everything in the morning. Your pocket has only 50 rupees and your stomach has only this much space. You cannot go to the class and sleep. You have to be awake because Radhika will come and take class in the night. Therefore, please don't overload yourself and sleep the whole day. Right? So your Vijnana, which is intelligence platform, goes above and tells. So intelligence is a higher platform. And finally, Anandamaya is bliss, which is where Krishna is there, which is at the soul level. So mind, above mind is intelligence, above mind is the soul, right? That is why, we feel, oh, what happens? Why are you very happy? Why are you very sad? All this is because of the fact that you're happy or sad is only because of the fact that you are relating it materially. We are in one of the platform. But once people are into devotional service, they are always happy because they are in the Anandamaya platform. Did you all understand this chart? Do you all have any doubt before I move further?
No doubt, Mataji.
Ma'am, can you explain again?
Annamaya platform, very basic, low conscious development like a small child. Pranamaya platform where you start thinking bodily, you're scared, fear, you want to take care of your body, all that animalistic platform, little higher than that, right? Jnanamaya is where your mind is thinking, your mind level of understanding, right? Like your mind wants to do everything. Your mind will tell, oh, wow, I love bungee jumping, I will jump out of the balcony. But intelligence will tell, you're not wearing anything, you will fall down and you'll break your head, right? So that Vijnanamaya platform. And finally is Anandamaya, which is eternal bliss, which is Krishna's platform, which is at the soul level. So Annamaya platform is very raw, underdeveloped consciousness of the body. Pranamaya, one level higher. Your breathing, your concepts, you're actually observing things around, all that is happening. And Jnanamaya is at a mind level. Vijnanamaya is a practical application of Jnana, and Anandamaya is absolute bliss. Right? Yeah. I hope you understood. Hare Krishna. Consciousness, state of mind. Yeah, please read.
In the phenomenal manifestation, there are three stages: the stage of consciousness, the stage of semi-consciousness in dreaming, and the stage of unconsciousness. Hare Krishna.
Unconsciousness is where you are completely asleep, right? And consciousness is what we are doing, hopefully. I hope there is no semi-consciousness here. Nobody's dreaming. Right? Yeah, continue.
But your lordship is transcendental to all these different material stages of existence. You exist, therefore, in a fourth dimension, and your appearance and disappearance do not depend on anything beyond yourself. You are the supreme cause of everything, but of you there is no cause. You yourself cause your own appearance and disappearance.
He's saying that you're the supreme cause of everything, right? But of you, there is no other cause, right? So you are super cause of absolutely everything, and you yourself cause your appearance. So he's telling that Krishna is Atma Maya. He's come on his own. Nobody told him you have to come. Did anyone? And he decided where he has to be born. Did any of you all in the class decide who has to be the father, who has to be the mother, where you have to be born?
No, Mataji.
All right. So that's the difference. And now the last para.
Despite your transcendental position. Yes, Mataji, continue, Mataji, please.
Okay, thanks. Despite your transcendental position, my lord, in order to show your 6 opulences and advertise your transcendental qualities, you have appeared in your different incarnations: fish, tortoise, boar, Narsimha, Kesava, and others by your personal manifestation, and you have appeared as different living entities by your separated manifestations.
6 opulences. What are the 6 opulences?
Fish, tortoise, boar, Narsimha, Keshava.
No, that is true. These are the avatars. What are the 6 opulences Krishna has?
Absolute beauty, absolute wisdom, absolute strength.
Richness.
Correct. Richness is wealth.
Wealth.
Not absolute. All wealth, all strength.
All knowledge.
All
Renunciation.
renunciation.
All knowledge, all
renunciation.
renunciation.
And
And what is,
renunciation.
sorry? Exactly. So these are the 6 opulences of Krishna. And these are the incarnations. So he says, by your internal potency, you appear as different incarnation. It's only through internal potencies, right? Now let's go to 13.6 and 7. Very important. Again, you need to pay attention. So we are talking about 24 elements in our body. What are the 24 elements? You can start counting. 5, what you see, material stuff, right? Your body, hand, whatever you are seeing, your gross body is made up. What you see is what? Bhumi, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kam, right? That's the 5. Another 3, you know. Kam, Mano, Buddhir, right? That is mind, intelligence, and false ego. So 3, that is 8, right? So now we'll keep that 8 separately. Now, what are the balance 10 we'll see? We have Jnanendriya, knowledge acquiring senses, and Karmendriya, which is the, okay, I'll go one after the other. What is knowledge acquiring senses? Does anyone know which are the knowledge acquiring senses?
Through mind, Mataji.
Mind.
No, mind is over. Knowledge acquiring.
Vision, hearing,
Exactly. Vision. Yeah. Eye, ear, speaking, nose.
speaking, nose. Yes.
Yeah. And the vocal cord. So these are the knowledge acquiring, sorry, not vocal cord, eye and touch, skin. So this is the knowledge acquiring. From the eye, what you do, you see.
Correct.
Nose, smell. Mouth, you speak. Ear, hear. Sensation.
The 5 senses.
Yeah, 5 senses and the sense objects. One is senses, another one is sense object. That
Correct.
means, so 8 plus 10. Don't take calculator. 8 plus
18, Mataji.
18, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And balance 5 is basically karmendriyas, working senses. Which are the working senses? Biology class, 4th standard. I feel I'm a biology.
Our hands, our legs,
Limbs.
And
limbs.
correct. Hands, left, renal, reproductive system, and vocal cord. Right? So these are the things. So these are 23. Plus, obviously, our soul is 24. Now, this all these hatred, desire, list, aggression, all these life symptoms. Life symptom is only soul. And all these are considered as a field of activity. That's why I was waiting. So we're asking about what are the field of activity and the interaction. Interaction because now I'm talking, you're listening. So there is a constant thing, right? So that is happening. It's a little tough chapter. I would request all of you all to go and read. If there's any challenge, please let me know. I may not be there tomorrow, but I will be again seeing you all hopefully once more next week. So this is exactly what I told you all. So I'm just going to skip this. Right? So this is a huge shloka. So I'm going to do the shloka. I'm going to do the reading. Hare Krishna. Amanitvam madam vitvam ahimsa shanti rajavam acharyopashanam saucham sairyam atma vinigrihah indriyateshu vairagyam anahankare vacha janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam asakti ranabhishvanga putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishto Papatishu Mai Chananya Yogena Bhaktiravya Vicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Arati Jana Samsadi Adhyatmanyana Nityatvam Tatvanyanata Darshanam Etajnanam iti proktam ajnanam yat athonyatha. Hare Krishna.
Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, the absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So basically what they are doing is everything, whatever you have listed here, right? This is all very simple. Fifth one is, here itself it is there, Acharyo Pashanam, right? That means only when you have all this, you'll be able to approach a spiritual master. That's very important. And after all this, rest of the things you will understand very clearly, right? Now, the only thing which you might be getting confused is, why do they tell detachment from wife and children? It is not that they are telling you to stay away. They are telling you, do not get so attached. You should do it as a duty. Which is why most of the time here we are arguing, right? Wife not good, why should husband work? Husband not good, why should I not? Why? Because we are having that attachment which makes us do the expectation. I mean, make us have an expectation. If you're actually not having that and do it as, when earlier they used to do it as a duty, Yudhishthira time. So they were very genuine, right? So that is what was happening. I think everybody is muted. If you wish, I could mute once, everybody. Hare Krishna. Yeah, muted, so you all can unmute and talk. So this is what they are talking about, right? And finally, these are the qualities which are very, very important, and these are the things which help you in self-realization. So these are the list of qualities which we are supposed to have. I'm sure most of us don't have many. So in that case, we'll have to start having it. And finally, if you see unalloyed devotion to me, very, very clearly Krishna is telling you. Bhaktir avyabhicharena. Very important is we need to have, constant bhakti. So that is one thing.
Radhika Mataji, sorry, what is unalloyed devotion, Mataji? Sorry, that English.
Very nice. Thank you so much. I am going to ask you now, I'm moving to chemistry. Prabhu, what do you mean by alloy, and what do you mean by alloy?
There's an extra coating of some other metal on something else.
Alloy, yeah, exactly. So basically,
Mixture of metals.
Mataji, it's a mixture of metals and.
Exactly. So alloy means it's a combination of two metal. Example, 24 karat gold is unalloyed, original. We mix with copper to make jewelry. That becomes alloy. Right?
Okay.
So this one will know. So I'm moving in. So therefore, we are talking about process of knowledge, right? So now already half answered. So let's see what Krishna is going to answer. Krishna answers question 6. Okay. Just let's quickly run this so that we'll have you'll have better control of the situation. Humility means you are very humble, right? You're not anxious to have any honor. Like, today if I come and tell you all, wow, you are great, we'll feel good. Someone scolds, we feel bad. So you just are out of that. Pridelessness doesn't matter. It's body. You don't get, oh, you told you're good. Oh, I am a great person. You told I'm ugly. Oh, I'm feeling so bad. Nothing. Non-violence, according to us, is not doom fighting. Non-violence, if you don't give Krishna to your heart, that is also non-violence. It's called Atmaha. You're depriving the love of Krishna to your soul, right? So everything other than that is called violence. Tolerance is very important. Basically, if you can tolerate someone who's really insulting you. I read Churchill's statement day before, which said that, even if somebody is insulting you, you maintain balance and be nice to them. That is tolerance. So that's the same thing is given here, insult and dishonor. Accepting spiritual master, I told, is the essence. And now simplicity. Simplicity is, example, Yudhishthira is so straight. He can tell even an enemy the truth. That is simplicity. And cleanliness doesn't mean external. External, of course, also, which is bathing. Chanting becomes important, which is your internal. Now, steadiness is you steadily start making progress in devotional service. Already you all, that is, you all are, which is why you're in the 13th chapter, right? So that is, you're really like your school. You start slowly studying, and then you are really clued on, right, in 10th and 12th. That becomes your determination for study, not studies, spiritual studies as well. Self-control is whatever stops you from spiritual advancement is reject. Renunciation, right? Not to cater unnecessarily to the bodily needs. That is renunciation. Absence of false ego. So absence of false ego is talking about what is false, what is basically the false ego. Like false ego is, I am Radhika, I am the mother, I am you so and so, I've studied MBA, I've done so much qualification, I'm from here, I am, whatever, I'm working here. All that is false ego. What is true ego? I am dasanu dasa. I am the servant of Krishna. Perception of evil, janma mrityu jara vyadi, right? Regularly hear about from proper source. That's very important. Detachment, I just explained to you all. And, and no entanglement wise, I just explained this only. Even mindedness, not even mindedness. Whoever scolds or not, I'm not going to be confused. I'll be steady. Unalloyed devotion, I explained to you all, and engaging, how do you get that? In 9 process. So what are the 9 process? Shravanam, hearing. Kirtanam, right? All the time singing. Vishnu Smaranam, thinking about Vishnu. Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam. Archanam means offering prayers, obeisances, right? Whatever we do, deity worship at home. And Dasanam, you all know. Anuman, right? Just now we said Dasanu Dasa. Sakyam, friendship. And Atma Nivetanam, complete surrender. These are the 9 processes. We'll anyway study that in depth, but I'm just taking you all for a quick thing. Now, Vivikta Desha Sevitam. So, aspiring to live in a solitary place, not applicable for us. This is mainly for brahmachari, sannyasis. Detachment from general mass also, like they will not be attached to any common people. Accepting the importance of self-realization. Atyatma jnana. Not interested in general useless sports, gossiping. What is important is that jnana, not our local jnana where we keep telling newspaper padna hai, oh itna hai, so much is there, that is no. Philosophical searches, reject anything which is not relevant. Tattva jnanartha darshanam. Right? Useless research in philosophy is waste of time, just drop. Somebody was doing research on grass, varieties of grass, and Prabhupada told, instead, why don't you do research on who created this grass, right? Which is Krishna. Wouldn't that be worth rather than studying the varieties of grass? The process of knowledge is cultivation of these qualities is the real knowledge, right? Other than that, everything is ignorance. Krishna answers question 6. Can someone read this, please? Please read, ma.
The soul can know the super soul, who is the object of knowledge and who exists everywhere and pervades everything. The super soul has transcendental senses, and he is the source of all our senses. He is unattached, and he maintains all living entities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The soul can know the super soul. So basically the soul, right, knows the super soul because that's the object of knowledge and he's everywhere and all prevailing. So that much you all know. Only the devotee can understand the activities. Now you'll be telling why, Mataji, why others cannot? Because only devotee, first of all, understands these are two different things. The body is separate and the process, knowledge, both soul, super soul, everything can be understood only by the devotee because others think these are disconnected. There's a disconnect in that. Object of knowledge, Neya, I told is super soul, right? So we have two objects of knowledge, which is clearly given. One is a soul, another one is a super soul. Who understands that body is different, soul is different, super soul is different is only a devotee. I shall now explain the please read. Hare Krishna. Please read.
I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal. Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Madhavi. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very nicely read also. I shall now explain the knowledge. Okay, knowledge means whatever we've been doing. He's going to explain now. Knowing which, right? Once you get this knowledge, Krishna is assuring that you will become eternal. Nothing will disturb you and you are going to become permanent and eternal, which means that we will go to Krishna Loka, not this Loka. Brahman, the spirit beginning and subordinate to me. Here, Brahman has multiple meanings, but here in particular, Brahman means what? Brahman in this case talks about the us, right? Krishna is telling he's subordinate because we are the thing, and also Brahma Jyoti of Krishna is also subordinate. Mainly us, we are, every time we keep analyzing why this happened, why this is happening, because all this lies beyond the cause and effect. The material world, these are all, you don't get too much into the cause effect, why it is happening, because here we keep analyzing. First thing we will do is COVID, I'll tell always as an example. Why COVID came? Because of this. Like, for example, father's child, the cause of the child is the father, which is fine. There's a cause and an effect. But what is the cause of us? Krishna wanted and we've come. And what is the cause of the material world? We wanted it, so Krishna gave material world. That's it. But otherwise, Brahman refers to the people out here and Brahma Jyoti refers to Krishna. So he's going to talk about all this, right? So I'm just giving both terms because it will start coming in shortly. Name, you all know. Real objects, right? Name, we are referring about super soul. So we have already done this. We're just, can you see the screen? Yeah, it's coming right. So why should we know the knowable? Why should we know Krishna so that we can enjoy or relish this nectar? Who is Neya knowable? So we told is super soul. Vijnana Brahma means what? We think Krishna is, we are knowable if we think we are at that Vijnana stage, right? And Ananda Brahma is, super soul is a knowable of all. So that's the highest stage. 13.14, Hare Krishna. Sarvatapani padam tat sarvato shri shiro mukhyam sarvata shrutimal loke sarvam avritya tishtati.
Everywhere. Okay, go on, Mataji. Go on, Mataji.
Thank you. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads, and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Love the sync with both of you all. Thank you so much. You all can take turns and read. So Vishvate Muham means talking about Vishwarupam, which you've already seen. So I'm not going to touch that. You all know better. One full day of Vishwarupam. Super soul is all pervading, and he confirms this in that particular sloka. Very clearly that super soul is not a living entity. It cannot become a living entity. It is above that. This verse is Arjuna answers Arjuna's sixth question, right? Sarvendriya guna bhasham sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarva bhuteshu nirgunam guna bho. Hare Krishna. Where is that? Nirgunam guna bho kritcha.
The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all modes of material nature. Hare Krishna.
So how many modes of nature are there? What are the three modes?
Rajoguna, Tamoguna,
Sattva-guna.
Sattva.
So so the modes report to Maya. Maya reports to Krishna or Krishna reports to Maya? Who's the super boss?
Maya reports to Krishna.
Very nice. Maya reports to Krishna. So therefore he transcends the modes and he's the master of all the modes. Yeah, on to the next. Hare Krishna.
The supreme truth exists both internally and externally in the moving and non-moving. He is beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So very clearly he is very far at the same time near. So there is one shloka in Isha Upanishad also. Tade jati tanne jati tad dure tad vanshike tad antarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyaya bhayataha. Right? So that's a speciality of the super soul. So it's called Achinta Veda Abeda philosophy. So that means you can't believe it. And because it's like opposite, right? He's outside also, inside also. If I'm outside, how can I be inside? But for Krishna, it is applicable. Hare Krishna. Avibhaktim cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva chastitam bhutabha ta cha jajneyam rashishu pava vaishnu cha. Hare Krishna.
Although the super soul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Although he is the maintainer of every living entity, it is to be understood that he devours and develops all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So although the super soul appears to be divided, now I'm going to ask only one question. At 12 o'clock in the afternoon, did you all see the sun on top of your head?
Yes.
Right? So who's from Delhi in this group? No Delhi.
Me, Mataji.
Oh, thank you so much. Did you see the sun, Prerna Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
I saw as well. I'm from Chennai. So the sun you saw and I saw are different, right?
No, Mataji.
How? You're in Delhi, I'm in Chennai.
Mataji, the place is only different, but the sun remains the same, na?
Pakka, na? Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Same way, it appears same way. Super soul in your heart and my heart, it looks it's divided, right? So one super soul cut, half is gone to her, half or like bit we are taking, which is not true. Just like the sun, it's the same sun which she has seen and the same sun I have seen, which is in one corner of India, I am in another corner. Same way the super soul, it appears to be divided, but it's never divided. It's situated in one. So there is Paramatma in everybody's heart is just the same, right? Though he is a maintainer, he develops everything. So he is the same Paramatma and it is not divided. So he is undivided, he is one and he is in that fashion. So now what is the beauty? So what is it? He is the source of light. So the source of light is Krishna. You can watch Krishna writing here. He is beyond darkness. He is the light. He is the unmanifested. He is the knowledge. That is right. Who is the object of knowledge? Oh, Krishna. Object of knowledge you can see, and he is the goal. Right? So he is the knowledge. He is the object of knowledge as well as goal. The object of knowledge is Krishna himself. Right? And the goal also is Krishna. And the knowledge is also Krishna. So that's the beauty. 13.19, please read now. Prabhu,
Thus,
please read.
the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature.
So very clearly he says all this, whatever I told, field of activity, knowledge, knowable, everything I've explained. Only devotee can understand. Why? Because Achinta Beda philosophy of being outside, being inside itself, we don't understand. So only devotee can understand and attain my nature. Means that whatever qualities we read are Krishna's qualities. Whatever opulences we saw are Krishna's. So we will not become Krishna, but become very close to Krishna, like the qualities you will acquire. So qualification to understand, what is the qualification? You all tell me what should be the qualification? MBA, MBBS, BE, law, LLB?
Undivided devotion.
Very nice. Unalloyed devotion. Very beautiful. That's all we need. Fully understood by devotees. Madhva, Kshetra, field of activities. Kshetrajna, knower of the field. Two people know the field. We saw soul. Jnana is knowledge and the process of acquiring knowledge, right? What is the process we should acquire is through discipline, succession. Name is the object of knowledge, which is Krishna. Sorry. So, sorry. Right. So, final session, verse. Krishna answers 1 and 2. Prakriti, Purusha and their union. What is the connection? So that's a summary, literally the summary of the entire chapter. So Krishna is going to address all this. Very nice explanation. This will be very interesting. So, yeah, please read.
Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformation and the modes of matter are products of material nature. Hare Krishna.
Very clearly, the material nature also is beginningless. We are also beginningless. We should be very clear. Whatever has happened, the modes of matter are material nature's matter, right? Products. But otherwise, both of us do not have a beginning. Hare Krishna. Karya karana kartavya kartri. Sorry. Karya karana kartritvaye. Hetu prakriti ruchyate purusha sukha dukkhana. Bhoktritva hetu ruchyate.
Nature is said to be the cause of all material activities and effects, whereas the living entities is the cause of various suffering and enjoyments in this world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nature is said to be the cause of material activities and effect. So, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various suffering and enjoyments in the world. So what happens is nature automatically is there, right? So see, okay, Prakriti means nature. Let me first tell that, okay? Prakriti, Purusha means mini enjoyer, we only. So the cause of all the activities and the effect, why it is happening, nature only is the cause, right? We feel that. And the living entity is the cause of the various suffering, whatever suffering. So basically, we wanted it, so nature, Krishna has created. So that is a cause, right? And we are suffering, it's also because of us. So we are the cause of suffering. And for anything to have happened, all the activities and all, it is the job of the nature, right? That is created. I know it's a little tough, but I will try. I'm trying to make it simple. Get maximum concepts. If you all are stuck, please come back, go through the per leading. And if you still have a doubt, when I'm coming back, we can ask. Hare Krishna. For tomorrow, Mataji is very nice. She will be able to explain. Prema Kishori Mataji. Hare Krishna. Purusha Prakriti Toi Bhunte Prakriti Jan Gunan Karanam Guna Sangogya Sadasadyoni Janmashu.
The living entities in the material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with God and evil amongst various species. Hare Krishna.
So very nice, very beautifully what happens is the living entity in material nature follows the ways of life. They will just follow. Example, as a human being, I have the right to listen. If I'm a dog, I have to bark. I don't have a choice. My karma will make me bark, even if I don't want to. So deciding whether I want to become a dog or not is my choice now. But after becoming a dog, I don't have a choice. I can't tell, oh, I learned Bhagavad Gita. I want to decide. I don't have control. Right? So just follows its way of life, whichever way it has to be. Enjoying the three modes we saw, right? So that dog is in the mode of passion. Due to the association with the material nature, it behaves like that. So good, evil, everything which is met is because of that. Example, snake, mode of ignorance. Whatever you give, it's going to finally, living entity follows the way of life according to the three modes, which are spoken. Very lovely shloka. Upadrishte anumanta cha Upadrishtanumanta cha Bhakta Bhokta Maheshwara Paramatmeti cha Putto Dehi Smin Purusha Paraha. Hare Krishna.
Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and premator, and who is known as Super Soul. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Very clearly saying that there is another person, the supreme proprietor. Who is that? Krishna. So what is the overseer permitter? Very important point. Many people will tell he drank. That is because Krishna made him drink alcohol. No, Krishna does not make him drink. He is just the overseer and permitter. He permits you to drink. He doesn't make you drink, right? He permits you because that's what you want. Even if he controls you, then you will become a robot. Krishna doesn't want you becoming a robot. Hare Krishna.
One who is understand this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So one who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction with mode of nature is sure to attain liberation. So anyone who So one who understands this philosophy, right, about the material nature, how living entities are there, how they interact, all this, surely will attain deterioration. Because obviously material nature, you understand, is under Maya. Living entity is also suffering with Maya. With all this, what happens? Automatically the person will be able to get liberated. So that is clearly said. Result of knowing this philosophy is we'll get liberated. That is the reason. And we will break the cycle of birth and death. So what is the purpose of all this jnana? Ultimately to reach Krishna consciousness and reach Krishna's param.
That super soul is perceived by some through meditation, by some through the cultivation of knowledge, and by others through working without fruitive desire. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So we read this in 12th chapter also, right? Krishna says, okay, option ABC is not there. D, E, F is this meditation, right? And Ashtanga Yoga and cultivation of knowledge, Jnana Yoga, or working without fruitive desire, Sakama, basically without, any desire of karma. So all this also, it can be attained. So it's just an option. That's called Mishra Bhakti. I mean, mixed, given here. Dhyana is given here. Sakya Yoga, which is what I told Sakya Yoga is I'm not the body, I'm the soul. You start cultivating knowledge. Karma Yoga, we already spoke. So here, does anyone know who's this person in the picture? If you know, you can type or tell. Meanwhile, you can read.
Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, being to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others, because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the part of birth and death. Hare Krishna.
Does anyone know who are these two people?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Is it Lord Kapila Maharaj?
Very nice, Hari Bol. Very nice. Third canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Kapila and Devahuti. Devahuti is the mother of Kapila and wife of Kardama Muni. And what happens is Kapil is someone, Kapil is the incarnation of Krishna. He becomes a spiritual master of his mom. So he says that if you are conversant in spiritual knowledge, no problem. They will start worshipping Krishna upon how? Hearing from authorized scriptures. Because you have the tendency to hear, you will be able to understand and you will reach this. I'm so sorry, I'm slightly getting delayed. So, delayed in the sense the chapter is very long. So I'll try and finish it in about 10 minutes, right? The final stage, Jnana Chakshu. So what you should do is develop the vision of knowledge. So one who can see super soul, living entity and material nature in a proper perspective sees through the eyes of knowledge. So he's telling that if you see everything, super soul, living entity, material nature, all this, if you're able to understand all this, that is only Jnana Chakshushu, means you're able to get that. Yeah, please go ahead.
O chief of Bharatas, whatever you see in existence, both moving and unmoving, is only the combination of field of activities and the knower of the field. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he says that whenever you see in existence, whatever is moving, whatever is not moving, Shara, Akshara, just a combination of field of activities and whoever and the knower, right? So it's basically whatever is happening is ultimately the combination of the three modes, combination of whatever activities we are seeing. Right? So the perspective is here. We are all in this jail. We are stuck here. And God is outside. Acharyas are there. They are outside trying to pull us. Can each of us pull each other? Not possible, because you're already in the jail. He pulls you, you'll move from one jail to another. That is why we need someone who's liberated to push us or pull us, right? So whatever you see, whether it's moving or non-moving, only is a combination of this. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinasyat swavinasyantam yak. One second. Yak pashyanti sa pashyati.
One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed, actually sees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. One who sees the indestructible super soul always accompanying the destruction, individual soul in all bodies, is the actual seer, right? So he says one who sees the indestructible super soul. That is the soul who is inside, right? Completely indestructible. That individual soul is the actual. So whoever can see the super soul, he is the one who's actual seer. Most of us, we don't see. I showed you the picture, right? We are all seeing somewhere. That's the situation. Theoretically, we may tell, no, Mataji, I am seeing, I know Paramatma is there, but only theoretically. If we see, right, when we see an animal, we will not be feeling bad. When we see someone poor, we will not feel chi. All that is happening. Or someone scolds us, we will not have any impact. But unfortunately, it is not happening. How do we do it? By good association. That's how we will get to know. Bona fide teachers, good association. We will understand that the body, its proprietor, the soul, and the super soul. What happens? How is the connect? Body, then the proprietor of that becomes a soul, and the super soul is a friend of the soul. So there is a linkage in that way. So this is very similar to the 5th chapter. Vidya Vinay Sampanni Brahmane Gavi Hastini Suni Chaiva Swapakeva Pandita Samadarshinaha. He is a Pandita. He sees that super soul is there, everyone, whether it's a cow, elephant, the cow, the guy who's on the elephant, or the guy who's literally eating the dog, and sannyasi. Hare Krishna. Yes.
One who sees the super soul in every living being and equal everywhere does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus, he approaches this transcendental designation. Hare Krishna.
So he says, one who sees the super soul in everything does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus, he approaches the transcendental destination. So he says that when you see the super soul, that is whatever is there in every living being, right? You see with equal vision, right? So therefore, what happens? He reaches the destination. Supreme. So what is the supreme destination? After all this, if you don't tell, I will have a heart attack.
Goloka Mataji.
Hari, very nice. Thank you. Suddenly, after watching the movie, so I used to be very bad in movies when I was little, and continues much after also. After the interval, I used to ask who's the boyfriend, who's the lover, who's the brother, and everybody will be very angry with me. So I didn't want my class to become like that. Hare Krishna. So our classes are hopefully interactive. So I'm assuming otherwise. Yeah, please go ahead and read.
One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. So he says, one who sees that all the activities, whatever are performed by the body, who is doing, because of material nature, we've got a body. So whatever the body is doing, he doesn't feel it's related. He understands it's related, but he's not like, he thinks it's daily. Okay, he has to go eat, sleep. All this has to be bodily work. We have to give food because stomach will feel hungry. That's the feeling he has, but otherwise nothing else is true. Right? Not true means it's not false. It's just that he just thinks his emotions are just that. 13.31.
When a sensible man can cease to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. Hare Krishna.
So, Hare Krishna, very nice. So when a sensible man, right, he's saying that if you don't see different identities, different material body, he thinks everything is an expansion of Krishna, right? That means he's already liberated. He's super. So basically 30 and 31 is actual seer. What he sees, actual seer, I told you that bodies are just a creation of material nature. I have nothing to do. I have decided I've got a body. That's it. I am different. Body is different. Now 31 is everybody body. Finally, what happens? Only Paramatma is there. That is only commonality. Right? So if that is the case, then I will achieve super Brahman. Anaditvam nirgunatmamya paramatmayam avyaya sharirastopi kaunteya nakaroti na lipyate. Hare Krishna.
Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he says, with the vision of eternity, that is permanently it is there. He says the soul is imperishable, right? And the moment you have contact with it, oh Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. The soul is, neither does anything nor does it get entangled. So it is therefore separated. So that is the speciality, right? With the vision of eternity. When you have eternity, you are beyond the modes. And despite the contact with the material body, he's telling that the soul will not bother. Even though it's the same body, it's living, it will not bother. How? We will tell how is it possible? He's giving an example. Please read.
The sky, due to its subtitle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all-pervading. Similarly, the soul, situated in Brahman vision, does not mix with the body through situated in that body. Hare Krishna.
The sky, right, because of its very subtle nature, does not mix with anything. Because of the idea, right? So it is not, you can manage. But similarly, the soul, which is already situated, right? It has a Brahman vision, that also doesn't get mixed with the body, which is situated. So basically, they're just giving an example. How can I be? The soul is inside. How will it not be a part of it? Because the sky is like that, right? It does not get mixed. The air and sky got mixed. Have you ever heard? No. Likewise, this is also possible. 13.34.
O son of Bharata, as sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What illuminates the entire body? Just like how sun is illuminating the universe, soul is illuminating our body. So our body, only because of the soul, it is illuminated. Kshetra kshetragnayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduryanti te param.
One who knowingly sees this difference between the body and the owner of the body and can understand the process of liberation from this bondage also attains to the supreme goal. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. One who knowingly sees this difference between the body and the owner of the body can understand the process of liberation from the bondage. Right? So he says that one who knowingly sees the difference between the body and the owner of the body. Right? If you know the difference between the body and owner of the body, right? So you can actually understand this process, right? See, if you can differentiate, basically that's a jnana. The owner of the body is partly me and mainly Krishna. If you get that, you know that you are not the owner, you are the tenant of the body, then automatically you will get out of it. Currently, my body goes to the next level of my house, my bathroom, my tumbler, my spoon, right? So that should be avoided. Right? So this is what it is. So it will automatically give you liberation and attain the supreme goal. With this we end, but we'll do a quick recap. So Arjuna is asking 6 questions. Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnanam and Niyam. Kshetra and Kshetrajna he is talking. Kshetra is the dash. What is Kshetra?
The body.
Body.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Body. And Kshetrajna?
Is it the super soul, Mataji?
Only the super soul? Does anybody else beside the super soul know the body?
Soul. Knower
The
of the
soul,
body.
the soul also knows, yeah.
The one who knows about the body.
He knows about all the bodies. Who knows about our own body?
Soul.
Soul. So two of us are there, right? Soul and the super soul. Very nice. Thank you so much. Next question. What is Prakriti?
Material nature, Mataji.
Very nice. And Purusha? Very nice. Material nature is Prakriti.
The father of this material nature is Purusha.
Very nice. So here they are talking about Purusha, which is mini Purusha, which is us also. So remember that. That is why they're talking about our interaction. Mahapurusha obviously is Krishna. Purushottaman. Of the Purushas, he is the Uttaman. He is the only Purusha there. He is the only enjoyer. But here we are talking about we all who are mini Purushas. Refers to not just men, but also women. Because whoever is an enjoyer, right? And, we saw that Purusha union, what happened, how we should, how should we manage to see through the vision of, that's a Jnana Chakshu. If we do that, we will be liberated and we will go back to Godhead. So with this, we will conclude the session. Nishtha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanan pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Anantakoti Vaishnav Vijay Srila Prabhupada Vijay Namacharya Haridas Thakur Vijay. Everybody, okay, I'll just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any doubts? Many doubts. Mataji, I have no doubt because I didn't understand, or I have many doubts that we have to sit for 3 hours. Which is the answer? I was first when I was level 1 student.
Many doubts, Mataji. I don't think one class is enough for this chapter.
I totally agree. I would only request you all, please go ahead and this chapter. And meanwhile, just 1 second. Today's recording I have put again in the YouTube, because every time I think I'll be repeating the chapter, it never happens, because each chapter is long and all that. So very nice, Hena Mataji, very, very nice. Hina Mataji, sorry. Hina Mataji, you enjoyed because you got a chance to read. Amazing. Thank you so much. I have a person who told me that he's the owner of this body and he can destroy it anytime by committing suicide. He can destroy it anytime by committing suicide is limited freedom. But if he does like that, if there is 80 years and if he commits suicide at the age of 20, balance 60 years, he will have no gross body, but subtle body. That means if I want to eat ice cream, I will go and eat. Whether it's good ice cream, bad ice cream, doesn't matter. But if he will want to eat ice cream, but he will not have a body. So he will struggle here, and after that he will go to hell. And then after that, he will come back as one of the animals. Human life is lost. Why? Because human life is very precious. You don't understand it. Why would you have? Nature will not give you that human life again. It's a rare case. Yeah, it's sorrowful, Hare Krishna. I'm sorry if it had offended anyone, but I'm just actually telling you the fact of suicide, which is totally against Shastras and what happens. We are supposed to face anything and everything. Anything else?
Mataji, your classes are so interactive and
thank you so much.
So inspiring. It's very, very, very nice to hear to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
I wish instead of, if Prabhu doesn't come, you could continue our classes, Mataji. It will be really nice to continue with your class.
So nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Oh my God. Actually, I did my 18 days class with 2 of them. One was Prabhu and another one was Prema Kishori Mataji. Was she there? She had taken some session for you all, right? Day before yesterday.
Yes, Mataji. She did.
They both were my first teachers. And Prabhu continues to be my teacher. I'm doing my Bhakti Shastri, I just finished, which is level 5. And there Prabhu teaches. So as you go, you will get to know so much about him. And this is my personal experience about Prabhu. Slow and slow, you get so involved, and he's such a pure devotee that you will get so much of insight. And, it's like I literally start feeling that Prabhupada words gets transpired through him. But thank you so much for, giving me a feeling that I'm able to do something and some justice. Hare Krishna. And thank you so much. Just one thing which I wanted to share with you all, because yesterday I had someone ask me, what made you get into Bhagavad Gita? I just thought I'll tell you that for 1 second. This has been my childhood wish. So when I was, I'm sorry, love story ko time nahi hai. It's too much. It'll take half an hour. It's already 10:30. But next time, surely I'll come in this class within the 18 days and I'll tell you the story. And you know what made me do is when I was 12 years, not 12, 11, I asked my grandmom, she's having a book. It was Bhagavad Gita. I asked, can I read this book? She said, no, Papa. You're only 10, 11 years. You cannot read this book. So I asked, when can I read? She said, when you're 60. So now it's fine. But then, 60 is like very long, right? Like, oh my God, 60. And then I thought, 60 years, if I get to know what will happen, I can't even change. From that day, I wanted to read Bhagavad Gita. And then luckily, not COVID, just before COVID, I was waiting for a client in Presidency Club, Chennai. And he said, I'm getting delayed. You go to the library. And I saw Bhagavad Gita as it is and I read. I thought I understood everything. And then I realized I understood nothing. It was like the 13th chapter which you all are feeling. And then during COVID times, sometimes good things about Fluid is this, that they had launched ISKCON Mangaluru, this class. I had one more chance also. Like there was a temple which they said they will do Bhagavad Gita, but it was clashing with my classes. So I couldn't attend that. And then after that, this one happened. COVID happened and this happened. That is why everything is for a good cause. That's how I started. And from then on, this journey is continuing. And there was one more extension of this question, which was asked for me, like, what makes you continue? So, and what do you get out of it? I get a lot of happiness. And I want to tell you all this, that level 1 was really difficult for me. Chanting one round was very difficult. Today, I had asked someone to chant. In fact, I won't say I asked someone to chant. They asked me how to chant and I was helping someone. And this person was telling that I chanted. I took about 11 minutes today. And I felt, wow, good. Because I could not chant half a round. And I did not chant during my 18 days. I started chanting only almost in the middle of second level, or in fact, the end. Right? So for all those who are chanting, excellent, hats off to you all. Because I was not able to even chant half a round in the initial classes. And I thought it's important I shared this with you all, because do not let go. And by the way, within by the time I finished half a round, 54, right? I almost drank 7-8 times I sipped water, as if it was such an Herculean task. Right? So for all those who are chanting my Dandavat Pranam, I'm so happy. And I'm so blessed to be associated with you all, because you all are so interactive and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So sorry.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for your wonderful class. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. We wish to meet you once again before this 18-day course gets over.
Definitely, I should be there, because Prema Kishori Mataji also was telling that we will be working on the schedules and I will come back. And definitely, Krishna willing, this story I wanted to tell you all for a long time. So I will definitely be back with the storyline. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you,
so
Mataji.
much.
Hare
Take care,
Krishna.
and I'll end the meeting. Thank you. I've just put the link, shared the link here in YouTube. It's there in the playlist, which Prerna Mataji will add. Just copy that and try and read once and hear. Maybe we'll understand.